Hi, welcome to my van, and welcome this is my YouTube channel, I guess. Welcome to my first video. Today I'm gonna do a quick tour from my van. I lived in this van for almost 1 year, so today I'm just gonna show you how my van is. I built this van myself, so today I'm gonna just do a quick tour. It is recording, so but before that I just want to cook dinner. I just finished work. I park here. Look at how beautiful this there's a big tree on the side of the road, like homeless. Anyway, I'm gonna prepare my dinner quickly, and then I'll talk about more about the inside the van. Let's go. Today I'm cooking some lamb shank chicken no, lamb shank stew. I don't know what you call it, but it's pretty van life basic meal I make. So the ingredient is potato. I usually have potato, carrot, onions, and a bit of spices, plus some beans and stuff. So today is not very complicated, it's super easy. So potato, onion, and a bit of spices. Okay. Very simple ingredients. Let me see. I'm recording. Yeah. Basically, chop them like that. You don't have to be very precise. This is the Outback style. I think I'm gonna put a bit more potato this time because I want a bit of potato. So just like that. Just I've cooked this meal like hundreds of times. So I use a Instapot, yeah, pressure cooker, electric. Basically cut this into smaller chunks so it can be, what am I saying, just smaller chunks so it can be cooked quicker. That's it. This is how simple the onion needs to be. Just like that, like that. Get out of here. That's it. Just one. Like that, like that. That's it. You got it. That goes straight in the bin. In the bin. Still recording. Alright, this is how I do the onion. Just go like that. Like that. I'm gonna go like one. You're gonna cut yourself if you do this. I guarantee you will cut yourself. Like that. This is super basic ingredient. Today I'm in a bit of rush because I'm recording video. Usually I take my time and don't cut myself like this. I'm very close to cutting my hand. That's it. I usually use carrot as well. Today it's just simple like that. Okay. So this is potato, onion. I'm gonna put some chickpeas. Just this is for one serve, so you can see that much. This is like actually for 1 to 2 serve, so you can basically go as much as you want, but pretty simple. I don't know what this is. This is called lentils. So basically, just put, I don't know, like lentils, chickpeas, what's it called, beans if you want, beans. So that's it. What else I need? So this is what I do. Yeah, that's basically all I got. And then I got this from Aldi. Can you see it? Yeah, this from Aldi. Is basically mixed, ready to go. You just chuck it in there. Let me do that and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna get the lamb shank. Look, the camera game is awful. I'm not. This is my first video and my camera game is not really good. So that's my meat lamb shank. Let me put that away. Can you tilt this? Anyway, I think you might be able to see it. I want to tilt this, and that's as far as I can do, I guess. Anyway, let me move this here. I want to move you guys here. So that's I think I'm gonna cut all this. So you go like, you get your lamb shank from Aldi, you get like this 2 piece, just check it in there, check it in there. Can you see this toilet and this paper towel? I'll show you how I made that in another video maybe. So that's that. This chili powder thing. Now it's the mix, okay? It's called the seasoning, right? If you don't want to get this seasoning, you can just make your own seasoning, whatever makes your stew delicious. Okay, that's that. Alright, so I got this stuff all in the pot here. So basically your potato, your greens, your chickpeas and all that, your meat, and then the seasoning. That's it. Yeah, can you see that? Yes. Alright, that's that. And then you just go crazy. Add water to it, right? Can you? You just add water. You just add water. So how much water do you need? You just add enough water so you don't want too much soup in there, and you don't want to be too dry so it burns. When you practice this after a few cooking, you learn how much water is too much. Okay, this is how much is too much for me. That's a bit too much water, right? Okay, but well, today I get a bit of soup, too much soup. Okay, next. Okay, recording again. Alright, so what's next? You just go, this is called Instapot Pro Plus Wi-Fi. It's one of the Instapot, okay. So basically it's electric. And then I go pressure cook. It already knows. So 1 hour pressure cook on high, and then it, you know, all the venting, and it's on pulse, and then nitro boost. Okay, those things you need to figure out on your own pressure cooker. But basically, that is my pressure cooker. I'm about to start cooking. I'm just preparing the lid with all that stuff, the seal. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. So basically, yes, that the lid is on. So this is how it goes, right? 1 hour cooking, high pressure cooking on high, and then just press and start. And now it's just gonna use lots of power. it just uses a little bit of power to like bring the water to boil, and then after that it just uses so little power, huh? You can see this light flickering because it uses a bit too much power. Let me put this out of the way. Okay, so let's start cooking. So it's gonna preheat, cooking, keep warm. So it's just taking once it starts boiling, then the 1 hour starts, and then it just does like 45-minute cooking or something, and then 15-minute cool down and all that. I'll show you it. Okay, I'm just gonna put this stuff away, put that in the bin. You know, this is my first video and the camera game is not that good. Bear with me. Anyway, put your knife away. It's super sharp and it's super dangerous, right? Put this knife away. Okay, so anyway, that it's cooking. My dinner is getting cooked right here. So the hard work is out of the way. This is how simple it is. Now it's just doing its own thing. It's gonna cook my stew for dinner. So let's go over this van. Okay, this is welcome to my channel anyway. This is my van, Staria. No, my channel my channel is called Staria.adventure. If you don't know what Staria, it's actually like a name of a Hyundai van. So the reason I call this channel Staria.adventure is because originally I was gonna buy a Staria van, and then that's why the channel called Staria.adventure. Anyway, the van I have now is called Rennie, the Renault Master long wheelbase. I built this and I lived in it for almost a year. So today is just basically a quick this is my first video, so I don't know what I was gonna do. Yeah, I didn't know what I'm gonna do, so the first video is actually like a quick tour. So welcome to the tour. I'll just 1 second. Okay, so the van is a long wheelbase Renault Master. I just give you a quick tour. As you can see, the way this van is built is a bit you see that the panels is visible. There is not much insulation. This is just how I like the design. Okay, so it's very basic. You can see all this stuff is just super simple, quick, super simple. It has some insulation here around on the top. I don't know, I just started there, but I'm not gonna put more insulation because I have AC to cool it down, and in the winter I don't get that cold. It gets cold, but look, I am happy because I lived in it for 1 year and I built it as I went, so it's not a big deal. So I don't know where to start, but as you can see, the cargo barrier is still there. You know, with the cargo barrier still there, you know, when I park parking stealthing, the light doesn't go that side, and I don't put, you know, the curtains and anything every night. It's simple. You just close. Come from here, get in. This is a half bed to let me get in, and then there is a slider that goes over there. The L-shaped bed becomes full bed, and then on here I have a fridge. It's a Bluetooth fridge, and I've got I don't know if you can see. I think you can see. Anyway, I got Renogy power. So basically, my my power system is a 12 volt Renogy right here, you can see. So I've got the Starlink, some lights, charger, this is monitor, Renogy stuff, and all that Renogy stuff. Anyway, this also becomes like a light for this entire van. There's one on this power board, one on that, and then I got this ambient light. The ambient light is, I usually use it for, you know, just to see inside the van and all that. So that's that. We got the fan right where I'm cooking. When this pressure cooker finishes, it releases the pressure, it goes straight here. So the fan is right on top of the cooking stuff. So this is a bench. I use this as a bench for cooking, and I also use it as a computer. It's not so, it's like a computer desk because I have a big TV and I need to go a bit further, but it can be your desk, your so it serves two things, cooking stuff. And this is a like a one piece big giant proper kitchen sink. As you can see, I use this part. It is a two-piece. I use this part for storage and I do, you know, I have an actual sink. Okay, look, this already give you a super huge tip, and the tip is if you can nail your bed, this bed sideways right where the sliding door is, then you can have this awesome kitchen, right? Like super big kitchen. So what you can do, make a half bed system, and then a drawing piece, and then L-shaped mattress, and then if you nail that like that, then you end up with lots of room everywhere else. So you can see I have a sofa here, I sit here, and then this is a bit of like a cabinet stuff going on here, and this so I've got this big fridge. Look, I had to go through lots of design choices to make this possible. The only way for me to work with would be put this on top here. It's pretty solid. It is inside. I made a frame. It's super solid, right? As you can see, it looks like it's attached by elastic shock cords, but it stops right there and it stops right here. So there is lots of it. It's not moving at all. So if you, yeah, it's like never moved. I have another fridge here. That's a freezer. I've got a freezer there. So two fridge, lots of power, runs 24/7. And you know, if you're wondering where the TV is, I used to have on this. I used to have a 55 inch. Can you believe it? 55 inch over here. It was just giant, right? And now, I'm not gonna tell you what happened to it. Well, let me tell you what happened to it. It was on the bed. I usually leave it on the beds because it's soft and cushion. But I was going to grab something from there, and it fell. I stepped on it and then it cracked. Anyway, now is a 48 inch. 48 inch? Yeah, I think so. Or 42 inch. 48 inch, I think. Yeah, 48 inch TV. It goes here. And I bought this from. Oh, what happened? I think my battery is low, bro. Alright, I'm gonna charge and come back. Alright, there is a little bit of battery there. My camera is running low on battery. Ooh. Anyway, yeah, this is I bought this from Amazon. So basically this is a 2x4, right? I got it like that. But you just cut it and shove it in there, make sure it's tight, and then you just do a using the rivet gun tool, and this is you just put your rivet stuff, and then the nut goes in there, and then secure, bada bing bada boom, just like that. I think it's a 2x4 from Bunnings, yes. And this is from Amazon. I might drop the brand name or something, link in the description down below. That's yeah. So this is from Amazon. basically is a TV mount. It can support up to 55 inch and maybe one size up. I've used it for almost a year and hasn't budged. So that is for my 4K TV. Yeah, I like lots of entertainment, so I play games, watch movies, and this mount is super awesome. And look, I'm not using it now, and you can see I've got so much space, right? I was going to put it on the sides, but for a big TV it's not possible. Yeah, so if you're wondering where the TV is usually gets stored right here. This is like a frame I made for the TV. The TV goes right in the frame. I just chuck it in here, is right in. Alright, it's getting cooked. Dinner is getting cooked. You can see. So yeah, that's my cooker cooking. And yeah, back to that cargo barrier thing. Look, if you can manage to have your bed like that, you will have enough space and you don't really need to open that. You know, one thing, if you open that, then when you drive, all this noise will be in front there. It will be super loud when you drive, regardless of how much sound deadening you put, right? If you can, just leave it as it is. You know, you don't need to worry about every time you park at night. You don't need to close the curtains, and you get more condensation if you take it out, right? And you know, when I'm done, when I want to go to sleep, I just drive somewhere, get out of the car, turn around, come sliding door in, close the door, fully closed. This is my windows. Shout out to my mom, she made these curtains. I give her some ideas. She did all the, what's it called, sewing, right? Sewing, right? She did all that. Shout out to my mom, right? I love it. Alright, look, it's so basically I made some stuff and this fabric is attached to it, and then this is 2-layer because I don't want the light to leak. So I'll show you more about all that stuff later. So basically I'll put the like before and after videos, photos, so you will see what I mean. This is my first video, so you can see that there's a lot of video like a shaking going on my video. The angles are not good, but hey, this is my van. So you know, if you have questions like about the way I've built this, especially like the TV mount, if you have any question, if you see something, if you have any question, drop it down below, and I'm sure I've learned a lot of things to do and not to do. So if you need any advice or anything, or if you see like, yeah, I don't know what happened, it stopped recording. Anyway, so I was saying, if you see something here and you want to like ask, if you got question, things like that, about like, I don't know if that video got recorded, but like if you got a question about TV mount, oh, you know, look at this, right? You put a block of wood behind here, right there, behind there, silicone, like adhesive silicone, put one there, one in the bottom, one there and one there, let it dry just like that. Super ugly, right? Let it dry, and then just you can attach whatever you want to it. And it's like, if you get the right silicone, which is, there are so many, there's like waterproof and all that, but just get the adhesive silicone, do that, and then basically I use this pegboard wood panel, like ply, and then just screw into those wood that I attach, just like that, right? Just attach. So there's one there, probably one in the center I did, and one there, and then now you have all this to attach accessory to, like this stuff, right? I bought this from IKEA, right? You just go there and you can put this stuff in it. This is my computer right there. You can put whatever there is, like rice there. Look at this stuff. So this is the way this is the design I went with. If you're wondering why I haven't put like a cabinet stuff, because look, I'll show you, right? So if you come back here and you want to watch a TV right there, you don't want the cabinets to. Yeah, so as I was saying, right? If you make a cabinet here, then all this get blocked on this side, and then it becomes super narrow. And then if you want to watch a TV, you see how it's wide open, but if you put cabinet stuff, then you're just gonna make it narrow and claustrophobic, right? So this is the design I went with. As you can see, there's not much, but look at this. My keyboard fits here super easy, like that. And then I just left it, that's where my keyboard hangs. And look at this, the chopstick and spoon holders. These are some bloody bottles. I just did that. You can see, right? Screw it onto this, because there is a gap for the screw to go through. There is like that much gap until you hit the panel, the metal sheet. So there is a gap, so you can screw anything in here. Yeah. Okay, so here with the storage. So I got this storage from a local store called Paramount Browns. I don't think it exists anywhere else. You might find this box somewhere. So this box, right? This is like a stackable box, right? So it goes from here to here, and then it has an opening, and you can stack them. I got a few here. I have 3 here, so you can stack them. This is pretty, just hanging on top of the bench, and the lips just hang in there. And then in order to keep it secure, I have done lots of shock cord. If you don't know shock cord, this video is just cutting out, right? So here I'll give you some example with the shock cord, right? So here, right here, this is like a elastic cord. So when you do tying up anything, when you go a few times, then that becomes super hard and it ties down really well. And it's elastic, look. Shock cord, look into that if you want. If you can tie something down, for example, cabinetry, you silicone it, you can screw it, but sometimes shock cord is the only way to go. So yeah, this is my kitchenware sink. I've got some stuff there. This is kitchenware, lots of stuff. My cooking stove, like butane burner, is right here. It's secured there. Cooking, 15 minutes left. I've got a storage here. This is where my battery systems are. My battery system is right under the bed. I wasn't gonna get a big battery, but then it got super hot, and then I had to install AC. When I got the AC, then I had to upgrade my my battery system. Look, this is where I'm parked right now. Look at the tree. This is the side of the road, but this is where the batteries are. Look at that. It's super heavy duty battery. I'll tell you more about all the battery stuff. Yeah, so this is where the batteries are. You got 4 batteries, 300 watt range is inverter charger, you get the detail later. Anyway, that's where the battery is, under the bed. I found this in a shopping center where everyone was parked their car. Someone dropped this cabinet thing, this drawer thing, and I just said, hey, that would come handy. So basically now I put my clothes in it. I mean, I didn't do any cabinetry, I just picked it up from the literally shopping center car park. I put my stuff in there, and then that's it. You just shortcut it to stop it from going open, right? All right, so there's another tip I wanna just tell you. Okay, let me get in. So another thing about this car, Renault Master long wheelbase 2024 model. If you have like Renault Master 2022 to 24 or something similar, the suspensions are really good. Okay, they don't drive like Hiaces. Hiaces tend to be a bit more bumpy, but hey, they have their own good stuff, right? But the thing about this car, I was just gonna say, the suspension are super smooth. When you drive, this car does not make any, it doesn't make a, it's not super bumpy, right? So if you're wondering why so many stuff are like sitting around and you're like, hey, aren't they just gonna fly around? No, it doesn't. So like so there's yeah, this car, the suspension is like super good. Nothing flies around. Anything you see here, when I drive, they don't move much. For example, this box here, this box is just sitting there. This box just sitting here. It doesn't move, right? I'll show you something else in the front. I'll show you why the suspension is so good, and then the way, of course it depends how you drive, right? So let me show you what I mean by how good the suspension is, right? So this is the cabin. As you can see, this is sitting here, right? This is the coffee thing. I don't know, at the moment it's sitting there, and when I drive, that thing never falls down off here. It doesn't go that way, because the suspension is so good and the way I drive it is super smooth. And if you ever thought about getting a Renault Master, buy it, because it's super cheap. It's like brand new is like 50k, and then it drives super smooth. If you're going if you need a smooth car to drive, doesn't make lots of bumps up, it doesn't go up and down, buy it for that smooth drive, right? I'm a pretty chill driver. I used to be a hoon but now when I live in my van, I'm just chill, okay? And that suspension is super smooth. That coffee grinder thing has been sitting there for like 2 weeks and hasn't fallen once. Well, okay. By the way, if you're wondering why I keep turning the camera like that, I just want to see how many minutes is left to record. Okay, so that's why I just keep moving it around. All right, here comes another tip. If you want to save weight, if you've done lots of building and you're running short on kilograms on your car, this is one tip I'm gonna give you. It's super handy, right? Is it recording? Yeah. Okay, so as you can see here, you see this curtain here? I didn't put anything to block this view, so this is a curtain, right? It's like a curtain I made, right? It's not heavy, right? And look what I made. I've got this like push pin, I think that's what they call. It's like a curtain. It's like a push pin, right? Look, this is like a from Bunnings. So basically you screw the other end, like one part screws into where you want it pinned, and you just go like that, and like that, and now you have the curtain instead of like a plywood or something, like a door. If you want to save weight, This is the way. Look, now all that ugly stuff is my rubbish bin and water. So I've got water, you know, of course, you know, the basic, right? The water just goes into the container there, right? And this is a clean water. And then it goes under there, right? I'll do a bit in-depth view, but this is like one tip, yeah? If you want to save on weight, get this. I'll show you what they are in a bit. All right, so this is what they're called. I think they're called push pins. I forgot the there was a sticker here, but I lost it. Anyway, so basically this one gets screwed into your surface anywhere you want the pin, like the, and then the other end, and I'm running low, that, and then you get this tool thing, and then you just follow the instruction and hammer it, and then once you're done, so, and it becomes that. And I've been using it for more places, like here, this is my bench, and this is there's a storage down here. You can see my storage here. There's lots of stuff, PS5, whatever. I'll show you. So this is how it is. Clothes goes here. There's more stuff here, but then to hide all that ugly stuff, that's it, like that. Hack. Get hacked. All right, one more thing. I think I'm doing way too many stuff in one go. Here, I got a what do you call this? Hanger. I got this from, you know, the big green shop, Bunnings, right? It's a hanger, right? I got my stuff here hanged. Look how handy it is, right? It's just right there. This is where the TV is. In order to hide all that stuff, I just hang my stuff here. I found this mirror. Look at that. I found this mirror. Where did I find it? I bought it from like a IKEA, but that was like in the, you know, the second-hand shop section where return items are. It's like $2. That's my mirror. Yeah. I think this is like super crazy, like hyper tour. And look, for my first video, it's crazy, right? There is no order, but I think the tour is coming almost to an end. But this is what I've done. So I've used this area. Look, you can insulate it, but I use it as a storage shopping bag. This is another soft mirror, and in this panel they tend to make lots of noise, but now they don't, because I use this like a yoga mat. You know, it's like you know, those puzzle yoga mats, and I use I think the video gonna end. Yeah, I use the yoga mat, soft stuff, like, you know, those I think you know what I mean, right? That, right? So I use that and use like a spray adhesive, Sikaflex spray adhesive, where you spray it, let it do its thing, and then you spray it behind it and you spray on the surface, and then when it becomes tacky, it becomes a bit sticky, you just slap it on. Of course, you cut it shape, slap it on. It becomes soundproof. It becomes sort of like dampens this like metal sheet. Before, it would make noise like this, but now I don't really care about the noise, because once I'm parked, it's not noisy. But when I sleep here, sometimes I bang my hand to that, and it makes a noise. So that's why I've done this. You can do this, like, it's it keeps the keep, I mean, it does insulation stuff too. It does, but I mean, look, you should do proper insulation for yourself if that's what you're going for. This van is not even insulated. It has insulation behind this wood here, but it doesn't have much insulation. So this is like, it didn't take me long. Look, I did build a van with proper insulation. It's like a Toyota Hiace, and then I sold it, and then I bought this car. That's why I'm not going with super crazy insulation, because I know from experience this works for me. And if you're wondering if this gets like you know, the steam build up on the metal sheet, you can see when I lift my finger because it's cold, right? Does it, like, when I sleep here, I don't even have to ventilate, right? When I sleep here, the thing is, right, the volume in, like, the space inside here is big enough so the condensation never builds here, because for one person at least, right, I haven't had someone here sleep overnight, so for one person this van is big enough and it doesn't build any condensation, and that is one of the main reason I don't really care about the insulation, right? That is big enough. Secondly, you know, there's an inverter running like 24/7 for like 3 months. It's been running, the inverter, and sometimes you can see the fan running, right? That is like when it gets a bit warm, right? So what that inverter does is create a bit of heat, right? That heat from the inverter, from two fridge, you know, there's a lot of heat get created, so it kills the moisture anyway, right? And then on top of that, I have this fan, fan right here, right? This fan, it just push out the moisture out, so that's why I don't have insulation, and I really didn't spend the time and money to do proper insulation. To combat that, I have a AC unit and then this fan, and I don't really care. Maybe in the future I'll do proper insulation, you know, this is why you go with this build, right? You build as you go, you know, you improve it. If I build this in one go, make it proper insulation and all that, I would never finish this. I build as I go. So yeah, one tip for you guys, you know, this is not a really flash Instagram worthy van build where it's super fancy. And look, this is what you get, right? If you go with super fancy panels, walls, like a TIG insulation, you know what you're gonna get? You know, on your super fancy Instagram worthy van, you usually have a really clean wall, right? You have like insulated, but then the flash wall, right? Like really good looking wall, timbers and all that. But then you know what you don't get? People don't use this side wall as much as they should, right? Look at this, how much storage just on the bloody wall, right? And then because I went this way, I save so much room. Look, okay, you know, side to side I have so much room. You look at, it's wide open. This van, does it look claustrophobic? No. So this is the way I went, is like use as much of these walls as possible. There is a bit of insulation behind this, right? There are some behind here, right? And then most of these bottom walls are also insulated, but you can see not here, right? And you know, as I go, I find use for these walls. Yeah, look at that, the keyboard just hanging there. Like, who thought of that? I don't know, it just happened when I got this keyboard, right? And look at this storage here, right there, right? Like all this stuff. And then look, hold on, is it recording? Yes, okay, recording. Okay, so look at this, right? Before I put this ambient light, you know, this LED light, right, before I put them on, right, if I build this and put lots of insulation. Look how this LED works, right? It's like an ambient reflective light, right? It's reflective, and now look how clean it looks, right? It looks nice and ambient. When because this door is open, right? It's a bit bright right now. So what happened when I close the door? This LED is not that bright on its own to make this place bright enough, but it is like ambient, right? And it does a good job. When that's not enough, I use this power board I bought from Aldi. It comes with this flickable lighting, and when you do this, it reflects, right? And this is all the lights I basically need, right? Okay, this is the lighting system. you just gotta you know, find what works for you. Okay, so this is how I went. You can roast me all you like, and I really appreciate if you have recommendation, or you know, if you want to roast me, do it, because I learn from things that I don't see. I want your point of view. So if you have something nice to say, do it. If you have something roasty, roast me. This design really works for me. You know, this is super hyper, you know, nonsense. I've made this first video, but so look, if you see something and you got a question or something, or you've got a, you know, you've got tips and tricks. Well, that didn't record. Okay, maybe I should remove the max recording limit. It's 2 minutes, and this is why it keeps cutting out, right? Anyway, look, this the way I've built this van. It works for me. You know, if you want to roast me, do it. I appreciate all the, you know, criticism. So if you got, you know, if you have a tips on certain way I could improve something, drop it down below. Or if you have question, look, if you've seen this video and you're like, oh, how I've done that, drop it down below. I will answer it. I'll probably make another video if you have a question. This was super hyper van. What do you call it? Yeah, my brain just went numb. Yeah, van tour, right? This is a super hyper van tour. I did not plan it. I just, you know, just record one after another, right? Question, drop it down below. Look, if you look, I'm doing so I do van life adventure. I do, you know, I'm pretty outdoor person. I go fishing most of the time, you know, beach and, you know, hikes. I do lots of hikes. So, you know, if you know, like and follow, that would be awesome. You see more video in depth about things. You want to know how I make that sink? I'll make more video like that. Yeah, if you want to know how I made this sink, how I made that, how I made that, how I made that bed, or how I made this bench, and how did I manage the storage underneath, all that. If you got a question, things like that, let me know. I'll probably make another video. This is the first video I've ever made. I'll make more video. And I think this is not really... Oh, hey, I'm back. So basically, my cooking, right, the Instapot is a 15 minute. This is where it's just pumping out the steam, right? So the cooking is done. It's just now releasing the steam. In 15 minutes time it will run out of all the steam. So basically this is what you do, right? It goes straight out there. All the condensation goes straight out the fan. So this is how I cook my dinner. Sometimes I do this, and when it's done, it just shoots it out there, right? So the cooking is almost done. I'll be back in a second. All right, so I'm back. So, you know, one of the reason I didn't make this fully insulated is because I do cooking like this. Yeah, I do lots of that, and you know, when just the odor from this steam cooking, yeah, just the odor, it sticks to stuff, right? Like basically the fabric, anything, right? It just sticks to it, right? So one of the reason I kept this built like this with all these panels exposed is because when there is a steam cooking and all that, after the steam goes out, it usually all the smell and all the moisture, it just it slowly burns because it gets hot. The moisture just dies. That's it. When it gets hot, right, or when the fan runs, all the moisture goes out. During the hot day, any moisture that is here during the hot day, it just dies, right? This fan that never gets condensation or anything if it's cold or there's too much moisture. Usually there's not enough, and if there is, the fan just takes it out. So that's one reason I keep it like that, right? Okay, so the cooking is literally almost done, eh? 1 minute left, so it's about to get tasty. I'm just gonna wait for that to do its thing, and then I'm gonna show you how it turns out. It usually turns out good. Sometimes unexpected. It depends how you mix the, how you prepare the ingredients. Like, the way I cook, I'm not a chef. I just make the basic, right? So most of the time, this thing turns out really good. So let's see. Yeah, it's like a lottery. Yeah? Sometimes you get good, sometimes you get trash. Alright, let's see, yeah? It's finished. The steaming release, all that is finished. So there you go. It looks like that. As I said earlier, right? That water was too much, yeah? And now you have soup. If you want less soup, you just add less water. You just have to practice that how much water is too much, yeah? Alright, let's I'm just gonna chuck down a bowl and then I'm gonna eat it, and it's gonna be delicious. So look, it's got too much soup because I added a bit too much water, right? If you manage that control, less water, more water, you get really good stew. Now it's like a stew plus soup. And also, I just put like 4 potato. This is the most potato I added. 4 potato, two onions, chickpeas, this and that, and then lamb shank. You don't have to, and even just that now it's like more than 2 meal or 3 meal, right? So if you want less, if you have less, I've got a big fridge, right? If you have, when you're cooking this in your Instant Pot, make sure you learn how, just don't put too much ingredient in there, otherwise you end up with multiple serves, right? And then now I have a bit too much soup in there. Yeah, you gotta learn that, nail that. I usually nail it, but when I was recording, I got carried away and I added a bit too much water. Yeah. Alright, this is recording again. So that's it. That's the. As you can see, it's pretty bland. There's not much color in there. Yeah, that usually it has a bit more color because I add a bit more spices in there. I add this paprika, chili powder, paprika, and that makes it like a nice color. Looks good, right? This is really good on its own. I have bread. I usually eat with bread and that. It's good on its own, but it's good if you use that in conjunction with your rice or some veggie, all that stuff, right? Just before I end the video here, I might do a video about this paper towel holder. So basically you buy this from Bunnings, the whole paper towel, and then this is, look, as I said, as I show you before with all the silicone work, right? How you do that. So basically you do the same thing, and then this is called like some sort of like a J hook or something. You can buy that from Bunnings as well. You just screw it onto that wood that you glued there, and you see it's like a L, like a J shape, right? I cut it, this was like longer here, I cut it here, and now I can slide this in and out, and now you have a paper holder just like that. So I'm gonna enjoy this meal. It looks super delicious. Ha 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 ha. Hot. Oh, there's a few seconds left. Anyway, look at that. Look, I'll show you. Okay, 1 second. Look how well this lamb shank is soft and all that goodies. Look how it falls off the bone. Look, 1, 2, 3. That's it. The pressure cooker does that for you, that magic, right? It's super soft. Look, it's super soft. I usually, what I do, I just smash it, right? I just smash all the potato. I put lots of chickpeas, and you know, what's the other one? There was something else there. Anyway, I usually smash it all like that and just eat it by itself. But you can mix that with other meal, right? This is like your this is, the world is your oyster, right? This is, you can do whatever you want with this meal. If I'm like in the winter time, this pressure cooker is my best friend, and I make meals like this in it. Okay, I'm gonna enjoy it. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this meal, and this is my dinner, and I'm gonna, okay, well, that's it, right? That's this for this tour. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. If you got any question, if you want to roast me, do it. Recommendation, like if you got question you want me to do future video like how I did that, I already told you. But if you want something in depth, ask it, and then I'll make more video. Thanks for watching. Peace.